Hello, hello. Happy New Year's Eve. Almost New Year's, huh? 2020, 2025. God, what the hell was that? I couldn't even talk. Hope everyone's having a good tail end of the year and ready for the new year. I feel real good about it. I feel good energy, good vibes coming. I really do. So I'm hopeful. And anyway, I wanted to end the year and start the new year on a kind of a deeper note, topic-wise. And it's one I was talking about with a friend of mine yesterday. He actually brought it up to me. This dude's a classic. He's like the best interviewer there ever was. He'll get it out of you. And ask you super probing questions. It's just the funniest thing, but the dude makes you think, I'll tell you that much. If you never critically thought, he'll bring that critical thinking side out of you. Anyhow, the question he posed to me was something along the lines of, so Cito is, it's so funny to me, is, what comes first? Purpose? What comes first? Purpose or character? And he's like, he kind of prefaced it. He's like, well, and I don't mean purpose like the buzzword purpose, like find your purpose, find your why. He's like, that's not what I mean, but he meant purpose like a mission, like things to do kind of thing, like a track, right? What comes first, that purpose or character? And like character development. And he kind of stumped me. And then he said, is it the chicken? Is it like the chicken and the egg? I'm like, he stumped me at first. And then initially I thought, what did I tell him? I think character comes first and purpose is something but then he digressed and said, no, that's not the purpose I'm talking about, like the buzzword purpose. I'm talking direction. Or, like more things to do, right? Like your mission, like, what you're going after, goals, if you will. So then I said, all right, well, let me retract that statement. I don't know. Maybe it is the chicken with the egg. And then the more we talked about it, I think we came to that conclusion that it is kind of like the chicken and the egg. They both, sometimes you need purpose for character development, but then having a purpose will also force you to develop your character. So it is kind of like the chicken and the egg. And then we were kind of talking, and I started mentioning sort of my trajectory in my own life, and then sort of, reminisced and introspected on it. And I was thinking about it, what preceded what. And to be honest with you, I think for me, I always had the purpose of, I was always driven, and I always wanted a lot for myself, right? So I think I always had that, and I think part of it, actually a lot of it, has to do with how I was raised, and not really having means, and just what my parents went through financially, and filing bankruptcy and foreclosure, dealing with foreclosure on the house I grew up in and stuff like that, sort of put a hunger in me, because it was really painful to deal with that at a young age. And so I think I always had the purpose, right? I had that purpose of like, I'm going to change this, right? But the character development and the wisdom wasn't always there. And I went through a lot of other stuff personally that I think forged that character development. But then what I was telling him is there was also a time when I had my mission, or I had like goals and stuff, but I didn't know what the vehicle was, right? And, you know, struggling with mental health issues, I had developed some problems with pills and stuff like that. And I remember around that time, in my, you know, addictions and stuff, I was wondering, okay, well, where's it going to come from? Like, meaning, what's my path, right? Like, I know what I want to achieve, but what's my path? And then I remember having to have a very, like, frank, honest conversation with myself and go, because you could kind of play that role, that victim, like, well, but I don't have opportunities and this and that. But then I remember, like I said, being very honest with myself and saying, who's going to give you an opportunity? Look at yourself. You're a mess. What value do you have? What skills? What do you have right now? Cito, what do you have? And that's when I really started to work on identity and character development, is because I realized young that you don't get what you want in life, you get who you are. And so I had to start to, without the opportunity, in full faith that the opportunities would come and that the new, more improved version of myself would attract those opportunities, I had to start to develop my character. And so that's what I did. I worked on myself. I started to really focus on parts of myself that I wanted to change for the better, and piece by piece, I believe it's a never-ending, continuous process. I really do. But I started to work on myself, and then I started to have opportunities that would give me more purpose and direction. But then, as we were talking, the interesting thing I realized is, over the last couple years, I started to lose that purpose again, because I outgrew kind of my purpose or direction at the time. And so then for the last couple years, all it was is character development and going through some stuff in my personal life. And with business, then it was character development strictly. I felt like I was lost as hell. And so I feel like it does kind of oscillate back and forth, that it is the chicken and the egg, and they feed one another. It's almost like what did I say? Like what's one of those things you stand on, the little seesaw? What's that thing you stand on? I forget. Seesaw, the little teetotal, or not teetotalers if you don't drink. Teeter totter, maybe. But it's kind of like that. They balance each other, but they oscillate back and forth. Like, sometimes you're in a place where you're really aligned with a purpose, and other times it's just complete focus on character development. So I think the key is not getting caught up in a lack of purpose at a certain place in time in your life, or B, and not getting caught up when you're like, all you're doing is working on character development and identity, and shifting your identity and raising your vibration and becoming a better version of yourself, and not doing that, not worrying about when your new purpose is going to show up, or more direction or alignment or what have you. So I don't know. It was an interesting conversation. I just thought I'd share it with y'all, because like the kid usually does, he stumps me. I'm like, whoa, hold up. I don't know, man. I told him that's $1 million question. That's a loaded question, my friend. That's not a simple answer question. So at any rate, I just thought it was super interesting. And like I said, wanted to share it. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Shouts out Bobo on bringing that one to my attention, because I'd never thought about it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed, safe, awesome New Year's Eve. Be safe, whatever you do. And an awesome, phenomenal, blessed, abundant, fabulous 2025. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Much love.